Um, Hello YouTube, this is Morgan Airspeed Prime here with my next Transformers Prime Beast Hunters episode review, and today I'm going to be reviewing the episode that aired yesterday, which was 312 Synthesis, which was it's the penultimate episode of Beast Hunters. Obviously, so that means next week's going to be the series finale, and then Transformers Prime itself is going to end with a TV movie, I think, in a month or two. But anyway, overall, this episode was. This was when I initially found it very difficult to kind of decide, like, how good is this episode? Is it good? Is it really good? And I ultimately came down to it that I felt the first half of the episode was a bit slow, but then the second half was like amazing, really picked up pace, and really got into the fact that, hey, this is the episode before the finale, and set up the amazing stuff that's going to happen next episode really well. So I think that's the best way to describe this. And the thought I had was that I think the reason I've been finding the last few episodes a bit slow is because I felt that, last episode was called Persuasion, this was called Synthesis, so that's what they've been going for. Like, last episode was Megatron persuading Ratchet to make the formula. This one was Megatron kind of Ratchet making the formula. I felt like they almost could have put all of last episode together with the first half of this episode and just made it that episode where, okay, this is the setup for the finale of them being able to use the Omega Lock, and have it work kind of that way, and then have this episode be the complete setup for the finale where you get people into position, you have the kind of maybe initial start of the attack on the warship. But overall, in the end, I think it worked out reasonably well. So let's get into the episode. The plan with Chip that happened at the end of last episode was to send. They sent Optimus after Chip because the aim was that Optimus is going to follow Chip to the Decepticon warship, and when Megatron what am I talking about? They're hoping that Optimus sees the warship before the ship kind of finds Chip on the radar and discovers that, oh, something's up, and then they know the location of the base. It's an interesting plan. It worked out reasonably well, but as we go on, we'll see what happens. And yeah, the next scene is kind of like a knockout. Knockout basically is the servant of Ratchet and Shockwave, and it was really nice just seeing him in this position after the complete mistake of the zombie episode. That was really cool seeing that. Just the two of them kind of order him around like scalpel and stuff like this. And then a little bit of kind of like bonding between Ratchet and Shockwave over science. That was really cool. They just had this really like intelligent conversation. Like Ratchet, like really on the Autobots doesn't have any like bot to talk to about this science sort of stuff, and Shockwave probably doesn't have anyone at the same level of intelligence to talk about. So it was just kind of moments of like where they are enemies, but they both like science a lot, and like they kind of bonded there. So that was a nice scene. I really liked. Knockout inadvertently then reveals what happened with the Predacons, which sets up Ratchet being able to kind of influence Predaking at the end of the episode. And then the next scene is a bit odd. Ratchet then tries to steal a sample of the CNA slash formula that's getting better and better as he's trying to do this behind Knockout's back. And the episode, it tells you like what he does with it. He throws it into the machine to cause an explosion, but it doesn't really let you know like why exactly is he trying to steal this? What's the aim of this? Like, was the plan to actually cause that explosion? I just felt like I didn't know why, like, he needed that thing. Like what he was planning to do with it. That's what I didn't get. But for the most part, it was a nice scene. The Ratchet kind of being like all fake, like thanks, and then Knockout kind of after having been abused like a servant, kind of goes like, "You're welcome." that was funny scene there. Then the plan fails obviously basically, and the ship spots finds Laserbeak, Chip before they see the ship, and instantly they turn to Starscream like, you didn't destroy the base properly, did you? And this is the scene I was looking for after what I found to be a really kind of idiotic mistake from last episode. And I like the way that they really did point the blame at Starscream on this one, and he's just like, "Oh, I'll go fix that." And I think it made up for it just about the episode. Just about made up for a really bad mistake last time around. But anyway, the next thing I have here is Ratchet finished the formula, but then decides to delete the data after he hears over the intercom that they're kind of getting into position to do their final thing. And it's just kind of this moment where, like, he had to work and had to do it there, otherwise he'd be of no use and be killed. But at the same time, like, he's doing it to save Cybertron. But if in doing so, he's kind of going to sacrifice Earth, and so there's a lot going through his mind in this scene, and they maybe could have done with a little bit of extra emotion, really kind of showing us like that he's conflicted about this, that he's deleting the data, but not really, kind of thing. But it worked out well enough. Then, before the base is the ship is found, Starscream and his armada attack them. Ship's destroyed, Starscream escapes. It was a reasonably nice scene. It was a nice air fight again, to use Optimus with the wing jetpack, and just kind of like, I'm really wondering at this stage now, like, because Optimus has been involved in so much aerial battles, that did they kind of realize that for this story to work, we need Optimus to be able to fly, and so basically every fight scene needs Optimus to fly. So I'm kind of wondering, like, did the plot require Optimus to get the remodel into, like, have the jetpack? So that was interesting. Ratchet then goes to escape, obviously. He's in vehicle mode and is just caught by Megatron in a really odd position where, like, he's just, Megatron has his foot on Ratchet, and his foot is basically the size of Ratchet's alt mode, so he could just squish him if he wanted to. And this is a reference to Orion Pax then, I think, here, when basically Ratchet says, I've deleted the data, you'll never find out the formula, and then I think Megatron basically implies there that Soundwave is in the background, kind of going back through the computer records to find the formula, which they do. So that was a nice moment, I think. I liked it. Then they go into production with the stable synthetic energon formula, and, like, it's quite slow for the first half of the episode. It's like, oh, this stuff is happening, not a crazy amount of action. And I think once Predaking's introduced to this episode in the next scene, the episode really picks up. Ratchet's brought before Predaking, and Ratchet then kind of reveals to, like, Predaking what really happened with it. He urges Predaking to, like, really think about what happened. Like, we randomly found Shockwave's lab. How was that possible? They planted the energon there to lead us to it. And Predaking's still not kind of believing him, and then he goes, think about it. Why would Megatron want to get rid of you? He fears you, and they don't even show kind of really Predaking's reaction to this. They literally just cut straight from there to him barging through the Decepticon ship. And I really like that scene. It showed Ratchet's smarts, and that Predaking listens to reason. He is actually quite intelligent, because I don't really see this much as Ratchet manipulated Predaking. He did just tell him the truth, and I like that. I think in that's kind of two scenes put together, but in between that we had Decepticons moving the ship with the Omega Lock into position, and they're about to get ready for this. And it's revealed that the Omega Lock is actually part of the ship in this case. I kind of understood it a bit more now, that okay, they haven't done anything really with the Omega Lock on Cybertron. They have just made their own. Okay, so I get it. I think I get that now. And then there was a funny moment where Knockout's just like, yeah, we're going to destroy the human planet, but they make good cars. He kind of just made that point. I like that. Then Predaking running through the ship, attacking everyone. Then he gets to Megatron just as Ratchet drops the shielding, alerts the Autobots to the fact that here's the ship, here it is, and warns them that, like, if you don't get here soon, Earth is going to be cyberformed. And this is an amazing scene. This is one of the scenes I really liked. Perfect setup for the finale. That Optimus immediately relays the command to Ultra Magnus back at base and just like, get ready, Autobots, we're going in. And he gives the speech as they all kind of like arm up, even more weaponry than before, like for the season 2 finale. And they just walk through the ground bridge, and kind of off screen we see the fight starts and stuff like that. So really like that as a setup on the Autobot side of things, that they're going to the Decepticon ship for the final battle. The Autobots know it's the final battle, and then in the next scene the Decepticons find out it's the final battle too. And I love the kind of setup scene here with the Decepticons when Megatron, he doesn't quite ask, he said, I'm gonna go get the Star Saber, but before he can get it, he's confronted by Predaking, and then Knockout goes off to get the Star Saber because he doesn't want to be killed. And what I love here is that we've known basically since Megatron has started to kind of fear that Megatron has feared Predaking in some way. It hasn't been like a really like crazy fear, but he definitely has been very weary around Predaking. So I like that even though he can't go through with his original plan to fight Predaking with the Dark Star Saber, that he still just takes out his blade and goes into battle against this guy that he sort of is a bit weary of, because that's the perfect way to do this villain, and especially this Megatron who kind of has no fear. He's just like, I'm a pit fighter of Kaon, and just goes at Predaking. I really liked it, and Megatron gives Predaking a few kind of hits, but for the most part, Predaking is in control because he is more powerful. And then this was a moment I loved with Starscream here. He had the idiotic moment earlier on where he had to make amends for kind of what he did last time, but here he just helps Megatron. He doesn't try to backstab Megatron. He just shoots Predaking in the back with the rocket, giving Megatron the advantage, and Megatron then pushes Predaking out of the airlock. And this basically, I suppose this is to get rid of him for the finale, or most of the finale. So that worked kind of quite well. Now, obviously he's dazed after all those hits, but the main thing is that he probably won't be able to find the ship again until the battle's over or something like that. So it's a nice setup that Predaking in no way is dead, and he's probably, like, after a while transformed in midair and started chasing the ship, but will he get there in time? So I like that. And then the final scene of the episode, Megatron gets the sword from Knockout. He's hears over the intercom that the Autobots are attacking the ship, and basically says straight to the camera almost, prepare for the final battle. This is our last stand. And in a way, this is the perfect finale in that season 2 finale was not really a like out and out fight. The two are going to meet on the battlefield. In this case, it's more even, that the Autobots are attacking, the Decepticons have just dealt with Predaking rampaging through the ship. It's a lot more even, and I'm really excited to see how it actually goes, how the Autobots go through the Decepticon ship, see the various characters fighting each other for it will basically be kind of one of the first times we'll see pretty much all the characters in one place involved in the one battle. So that's what's very interesting, and I think the setup from the last episode that maybe the humans will get involved, use the Apex armor or something like that. So overall, again, I'll just kind of quickly sum it up as it's quite slow start to the episode. They're still pretty interesting, and then really fast paced, great setup at the end of the second half of the episode. So I'm going to end the review there. Really excited to see what the season finale does, and especially to see, like, are they including the movie as like part of the show, or next week are we going to actually have an ending, or is the movie going to be the ending, that sort of thing, or is the movie just going to be, will return to the universe to tell a kind of another story? That's what I'm kind of wondering. Like, is the movie just going to be a kind of special thing to kind of show another continuation, but if you don't see the movie, you can still get a resolution in the next episode. So that's what I'm really looking forward to. So thanks for watching this review, and bye.